When we deployed to Afghanistan, we were what was called Roto Zero, the first rotation to go into Kabul in 2003, 2004. At the same time, we were deploying from Ontario to Bosnia. So we were doing two different troop deployments at the same time. My job then, and still today, is in civil military cooperation, or what we call CIMIC. So we were trained to make friends instead of enemies, is the simple way we explain it to our mums and dads. And at the same time, we'd learn how to work with non-government organizations, work with local governments, and try to do things to help out the local people or the refugees, as the case may be. So we started back in the year 2000, even before we thought we'd be going anywhere. So we were learning all these techniques. They sent me over to Bosnia for a visit, not for a full rotation. And I met up with CIMIC troops and officers in the field. I met non-government organizations. I met all types of different people and learned how they worked together. That type of experience then we used when we went to Afghanistan for meeting and talking with the local organizations or talking with the local people. What was very interesting for me and my peers, in Ontario, we worked with the Canadian Rangers and we worked with some of our First Nations. So we'd learned a little bit about how to show our respect in a tribal culture. And again, the punchline over and over again became, we were Canadian. We tried to treat people properly. And this was brought to the front when an American friend visited the Canadian consulate or embassy in Kabul and came back and said, "That's incredible." We asked, "What do you mean?" He says, "You treat your Afghan employees as if they're Canadian." We looked at each other sheepishly and said, "Well, of course, what else would we do?" So it was just the way we were. This came home again later, where one of my friends was out and a bridge had been bombed out near a village just north of Kabul. So he told the local mayor, or the Malik, he said, we're gonna repair this bridge. We needed it for military purposes, but the village needed it to get to the market. So when Mark, his name was Mark also, when he came back with the engineers and with all the equipment, and they started repairing the bridge, the villagers all came out and the mayor came out and he says, "What are you doing?" And my friend said, "We're repairing the bridge." And the mayor looked at them, he said, "You're the first guys that have kept your word." And it was just that Canadian attitude of, we're going to do what we say, our word is our bond. It helped us in many, many ways. Instead of the history books being dry, things that they're forced to read, that they should be able to read them and realize these were real people, these were real Canadians, and these were the accomplishments that they did. And similarly, these are the things we do today, just incredible, incredible things.